Hi guys. I found lately that a lot of my videos might have been a little negative toward the XMR because, you know, with the diff rebuild and heat problems, all that other shit. Just wanted to make a bit of a video of like ultimately why these machines are fucking awesome and why I wouldn't own any other machine. So, I originally started out dirt biking, and that kind of died out around here because there's no supportive club to let us on the trails and give us third-party insurance here in Ontario, and you need it. So, kind of hence the ATV. Wanted to find something that was fast, and you need something that kind of scares you because you got to respect it. So, needless to say, the 1000 comes into effect. So I got the two up because I family ride a lot. I got two kids and a wife, and me and the wife go out a lot together. And the two up seat is absolutely amazing. There's nothing, there's no other ATV company out there that makes a nicer, more comfortable seat out there. Period. I don't care, Arctic Cat, Polaris, nowhere close. The Can-Am is the cat's ass. So the XMR is a little bit nice because the wife's only, what is she, 5'4". We got the little mud riding foot pegs. She finds those perfect for getting her feet up high enough. When she's sitting on the back, it gives her a little extra grip so that way she can actually hold on. And again, the backrest and everything like that, it's super comfy. You can hold on, you got handles, it latches in, it's simple, it's easy to take on and off. You can't beat it. You definitely can't beat it. So, XMR again, how can you beat a factory machine that comes with a rad relocate? Snorkels up to, well, up to the rack here. That's more than anyone would ever need. Factory silverbacks, which by the way, these silverbacks here, like, they're pretty nice tire. I know that they're not the best out there, but they came with the machine, and guess what? These have 700, or no, we're almost 1,000K on them now. 1,000K, and there's easily half their life has been on rock. Trails that you should be running bighorns on. Look at it. A little rounded over, a little worn, a little split, whatever. I mean, they're mud tires. They're not meant to be ridden on those trails, and look how well they're holding up. Comes with a nice winch, handle guards. I love the gauge on this thing, the analog and digital gauge. You can't beat that. Again, going on 1,000 kilometers. I try and change as many oils as I can. Brakes suck, yeah, but Can-Am covers that. They give you a replacement brake for free. As long as you just go in and say, hey, I need a new brake. We just got back from our trip up north, and the buddy there with the 850, he's got the 2016 850, and he had a Fox shock go in the rear, and the dealership covered it for free. He gave him a new one. As long as you go to the proper dealership, you know, you can't beat them. They're super smooth with the Fox shocks. Like, don't get me wrong, they still ride like a lumber wagon, but you're running 30-inch silverbacks on a limited travel shock. I mean, they ride like a dream with what you have to work with. And this 1,000cc engine is more than powerful enough. Like, I'd even say that the 850 is stretching it. Don't get me wrong, the 1,000's awesome. I just wish that they made the 850 in the 2-up because I would have bought that. There's no reason for it. The 1,000 just has that little extra oomph, right? It just really pulls. The power steering's amazing. Love the three settings on it. I find myself using them all the time, varying depending on what trail and terrain I'm riding on. I love a couple different features of this machine. They were smart. Can-Am was smart. Airbox up high, fuse box up high, battery up high. Everything is like all the electronics are up where they should be, up as high as possible. one of my buddies there, he has a Polaris Sportsman 500, and his battery is in the lowest part possible. It's right on the chassis. I mean, how dumb is that? That's dragging through the water in every single mud hole you go through. Come on. I'm telling you, these Can-Ams are amazing. The Visco lock, I've yet to have a problem with it. We ride in a lot of clay. It always locks up nice, and when it doesn't, I'll be 100% honest, it's probably a good thing because it's saving your axles. Like, something's got to break. It's got to be the leakest link on the chain, and all these posi lock quads and everything like that. The Arctic Cat, the Polaris, Honda. You know, Honda doesn't make enough power to break itself. Well, the Polaris does. Guess what? The fucking front discs blow out of them. And the Arctic Cat, well, let's get real. If you're an electrician, that's a good machine to own. But other than that, don't fucking bother. So, you know, they got the best to offer on every level. Nice colors, nice styling. Love to ride it. It's a head turner for sure. And it's a very customizable bike. Everything's easy to work on to a certain point. You know, it's all metric. Everything's straightforward. 16 grease nipples on it. So you can actually service a lot of this stuff compared to other machines where, like the Arctic Cats, it's non-greasable bushings. So, you know, you get a season out of a set of bushings. Where on the Can-Am, as long as you grease them, and I mean really grease them, every fucking ride, grease them, they'll last a long time. I got 1,000 K on her now, and I ride it hard. I ride it through a lot of mud, and I'm not easy on it. I can promise you that. And all my bushings are still nice and tight. Again, the rear diff went on me, but you know what? What are you gonna do? You're pushing 89 rear wheel or 89 horsepower out of the crank. Something's bound to break. Something's bound to happen. You live and learn. Wouldn't trade the machine for anything else. Well, maybe a Renegade XMR, but that's only because I do like this short chassis. I do prefer the short chassis. I do like the 800, the 850, the Renegades. They do ride a little more fun. Now, don't get me wrong. This thing is just as fun. There's a little bit of a difference in the scariness, right? You need to be a better rider and be more on it on a short chassis machine compared to a long chassis. A long chassis gives you a lot of forgiveness, both in left and right and front to back. I've been up hills that, you know, a short chassis would definitely give you trouble on, and I'm not even thinking about it. I'm not even leaning over the front end. I'm not nothing. I'm just sitting there going up the hill. All the short chassis guys, they gotta get their weight over the front wheels and over the front rack and watch the throttle. And then that's the other nice thing about the 1000s is as soon as you get any sort of traction that's gonna make you a little scared, you just whip the throttle and fuck, there goes your traction. It's got more than enough power. We're blasting down the trails up north there. Average speed is 70, 75 kilometers an hour, you know, when we're really ripping down the trails. And 70 kilometers an hour on a rock trail with an XMR, like, come on. A lot of these guys are saying, hey, they're not trail machines. Well, guess what? I think it really depends on the rider. These are, in a way, trails machines, but they do everything good. They do everything good, and they do the mud great. XXC, XTP, yeah, they do trails great. You got to pick the machine for you. I would not recommend this machine for anyone that's doing a lot of dry trails, a lot of rough, rocky stuff. You definitely should buy an XTP. I don't care what you say, an XMR does not keep up in the shocks. But that's only because of limited travel, because of big tires. But if your main priority is you know, muskeg, mud, all that kind of shit, we do a lot of clay down here. You cannot touch the XMRs. You can pretty well go through everything in two-wheel drive. And the stuff that you got to put in four-wheel, well, no one's following you, that's for sure. Not only because you can spin all four tires and you can clean them out properly, you can get them really going. but because you have the ground clearance enough, and they pull hard, and they run great. The relocate is amazing, good priority to have on any mud bike. And the factory snorkels are plenty high enough up. As you can tell right now in the video, I'm extending mine up because brother-in-law there almost swamped his. But again, rider error, right? Like, you're going along the trail, you never know what's down there. So I want to be able to see where they are. But they look slick as shit when they're underneath the pod, filter underneath the front rack there and everything. Again, amazing machine. And engine braking's absolutely awesome. Lots of fast trail riding. I never touch my brakes. It's all engine braking, and then in the throttle. The brakes on this machine barely ever get used, and that's why these shitty Can-Am stock the brakes that it came with last me over 1,000 K, because it's one of those things that you barely use them. So even shitty brakes last a long time, especially going through mud. Like, as you can tell, the machine's still a little dirty there. I go through a lot of mud. This is a mud riding machine, and it sees mud every single ride that it goes out, no matter what. And again, very impressed over everything. What else? Nah, I think that's pretty well it. So here's your little positive video. Buy an XMR. Buy a Can-Am. They're awesome. They'll always put a smile on your face. Like my buddy says, smiles per gallon. And that's what this is. Yeah, you can ride your fucking little Honda, your 500cc Honda with 33-inch BKGs or whatever the hell they're called. Yeah, you can go through everything that we do, and you can probably do more. But you know what? I've ridden slow, boring machines before, and it's not fun. It is not fun crawling through shit. Yeah, guess what? When you get home, you don't need to wrench on the machine, and you went through everything, and so on and so forth. And well, fuck, you can see 30 kilometers an hour. What do you fucking do? When you're out, you're not having as much fun as these other guys. These other guys, yeah, okay, we got to wrench our machines a little bit, but you know what? So be it. You got to work for the fun things in life, right? And that's what an XMR, that's what a Can-Am is. I mean, don't get me wrong, you take care of it, you baby it, everything like that, they'll last forever, and they'll keep up with a Honda all day. But it's a different animal, right? You cannot be putting 89 horsepower down and not be breaking shit. But the funnest part is that you're right on that edge all the time. That you're hammering it. You grab a fucking fistful of throttle, and she goes. She shoots rocks, mud, whatever the hell you have behind you. She throws it. And there's nothing else on the trails that gives you that smiles per gallon, that fun. So here's my piece. I'll keep you guys up to date on the snorkels, and we'll go from there.